So at the last summit, Scott, you were talking about Jared Meese, an American flat track racer who does an awesome job of representing. What is it
Mhm.
that he does that sets him apart? Because that could be a good example for others on the call today to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, well, the winning is part of it, right? That's certainly a big opportunity. Jared's just a nice guy too. He's somebody that you want your brand associated with. When we choose, especially premier athletes that we're really putting some investment behind, we want to make sure that they align with our brand credibility, and we don't want them to be out there doing stupid stuff. And Jared's a good family man. Jared's got multiple championships, and frankly, when I started talking to Jared, he was having problems where his vehicles were running hot.
Hmm.
So we offered a performance solution that continued into a relationship. And he's just, I mean, it's one of those athletes you like to work with. Yeah, there's great visibility. I mean, on the side of his bike, on his leathers. There's the sticker on a fender that we everybody wants to have, but there's that visibility there. And then social media posts. There's video from the series. There's all those little things that help add up to create that overall story that we tell with Jared.
That story that we tell. That's interesting. Let's go there for a second because we talked about that last time about
We certainly
storytelling.
did.
Part
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
brand
It's
ambassador's job is to tell not just the story of the brand, but their own story and to tell that story in a way that resonates so consumers and spectators will make a link between the brand and the brand ambassador.
100%. I mean, it's so historical. You look back at Formula One, right? 5 years ago, no one knew what Formula One was. Drive to Survive comes along, and they tell each individual athlete's story. So now they've got this phenomenal growth in viewership. They've got all these people that are following who this driver is and the story behind them. IndyCar just started doing that with the CW series that Road to Indy. So now, like, I've become a huge Paddle Award fan just from watching the series. Now you feel like you're invested in this person. And for a sponsor, yeah. So Jared tells a story, and you feel like Jared, and you feel like you want to be associated with him. You want to emulate what he does and his story, and everybody that we talk to. Like, you want to tell, like you said, you tell your story first, but then how does that relate to the brand? How do you deal with that? So it's telling your story. Like, I feel like that's the case with any sponsorship. Because there's a lot of people out there that all look the same. There's you look at go to Supercross, you go to a national motocross. There's 35 guys that are not Jet Lawrence and Chase Sexton and Aaron Plessinger. So how do they differentiate themselves from the other guys that are lined up? And we've got to really, I wouldn't say easy, but it's far easier to do it now with a cell phone and a video and putting it out there for the world to see, and not worrying about being super polished, being more organic and more genuine,
Mhm.
but telling the story of who you are.